I was 17 when I found out my girlfriend, Emily, was pregnant. High school had been hard enough with exams, sports, and part-time jobs, but this news turned my world upside down. I remember sitting on the edge of my bed, phone trembling in my hand, calling my parents to tell them. I expected disappointment, maybe a lecture, but nothing could have prepared me for what came next. The moment I told them, my father's face went pale. His hands clenched into fists, and he shouted so loudly that I could feel the walls vibrate. "You've shamed this family. How could you be so reckless? Do you even understand the consequences?" My mother's eyes were wide with disbelief and anger. She threw her hands in the air, tears streaming down her face. "Get out. We cannot have this in our house. You're finished here." I stood there, stunned, my heart pounding. I tried to explain, to tell them that Emily and I were committed and would take responsibility, but they wouldn't listen. Every word I said was met with accusations and rage. Within minutes, I found myself packing a small bag, every movement feeling surreal. I was 17, suddenly homeless, and terrified of the future. Emily was scared too, but she was determined to face this together. Her parents were more supportive, offering guidance and help wherever they could. We leaned on each other, navigating doctor's appointments, school responsibilities, and the whispers of classmates who somehow already knew. Every day was a battle against exhaustion, judgment, and uncertainty. I took on odd jobs, delivering newspapers, washing cars, even babysitting, to save money. Emily did the same. We learned quickly what it meant to be responsible adults in a world that wasn't ready to accept teenagers facing parenthood. Some days, the weight felt unbearable. Some nights, we would sit on the porch, talking about the life growing inside her, dreaming about a future we hoped would be kind to us. Months passed, and the news of my shame spread through my extended family and school. My parents had made their stance clear to everyone: I was the disgrace, the failure. They rarely contacted me, and when they did, it was with venom disguised as concern. Their rejection fueled a quiet determination inside me. I wasn't going to let their anger define me or my child's future. Emily gave birth to a beautiful baby boy in the middle of our senior year. Holding him for the first time, I felt a surge of love and responsibility that no lecture or curse from my parents could erase. I knew life would be hard, but I also knew that family wasn't always defined by blood alone. It was defined by love, sacrifice, and commitment. By the time graduation came, I had managed to finish school while working part-time, Emily doing the same. The pride of holding my diploma while cradling my son was indescribable. I had survived, thrived even, despite the odds stacked against me. Years later, I had built a small but steady life, a modest apartment, a steady job, and a support system that valued loyalty and love over social appearances. My parents, meanwhile, remained distant, their anger simmering beneath polite appearances during the rare family gatherings. I realized they had never truly understood the courage it took to face responsibility, to put my child first, and to grow up overnight while others still clung to judgment and shame. One day, my father called unexpectedly. We want to see our grandson," he said, hesitantly, his tone uncharacteristically soft. My mother was in the background, her voice quieter than I remembered. I paused, feeling a mixture of anger and caution. This was the same family that had thrown me out, yet now they wanted a place in our lives. I agreed to meet, but on my terms. No apologies would be demanded, no past would be ignored, but I would show them that life had moved forward without their approval. When we met, my son, now a cheerful toddler, ran into my father's arms, and for a moment, the bitterness faded. My parents saw, perhaps for the first time, the result of love and resilience, not shame. Through the years, I maintained distance. My parents tried to insert themselves into our lives, but I remained cautious. They had judged too quickly, abandoned too easily, and I refused to let them dictate the rules of my family now. Emily and I, though young and initially terrified, had created a stable, loving environment for our child, one built on responsibility, partnership, and unshakable commitment. Looking back, being thrown out at 17 was devastating, but it taught me resilience. It forced me to take responsibility, to grow up faster than most, and to cherish the family I had chosen over the one that had rejected me. I realized that life doesn't always give second chances through forgiveness, it sometimes gives them through determination, courage, and the creation of something meaningful against all odds. Now, every time I watch my son play, laugh, or learn something new, I feel a quiet triumph. The shame my parents tried to impose has long since faded. Instead, I see the strength that came from surviving rejection, from building a life grounded in love and accountability. The boy I raised, the young man I became, and the family Emily and I nurtured are my legacy, not the anger or disapproval of parents who refused to understand. And in that, I finally found peace.